Hello, grade 7 students. This is day 26 of STP Mathematics 2A lesson series. Hope you can remember in the previous video, I started discussing squares and square roots lesson. Out of those two topics, I discussed the squares, and today I'm planning to discuss the square roots. Right? So, what is a square root? The square root of a number is the number which, when multiplied by itself, gives the original number. Now, we know that the 4 into 4 is 16, or else 4 square is equal to 16. And then if I ask you to get the square root of 16, it gives you 4. But keep this in your mind, children. This is very important when you go to the upper grades. When you get if you want to get 16, one method I can get 4 times 4, it gives me 16. And also, if I have negative 4 times negative 4, it gives me 16. Right? Both the ways I can have 16. So then when I get the square root of 16, most of the time we just write the answer 4. It is correct at this age, but when you go to the upper grades, this is not the correct answer. How do you write? You write 4 or negative 4. Or sometimes we write this as negative or positive or something like this. Right? So you can write down the definition here. The square root of a number is a number which, when multiplied by itself, gives the original number. Right? After that, you can write down the two ways we have to get 16, 4 times 4, and negative 4 times negative 4. And if I'm writing the square root of 16, either it can be 4 or negative 4. So we have different ways to write it. But in your age, if you just write 4, that's totally fine. But I'm telling you that 4 is not the complete answer when you go to the higher grades. So then another example I will take you. 7 times 7, it is 49. And negative 7 times negative 7, it is again 49, the positive 49. When I want to get the square root of 49, I know either it is positive 7 or negative 7, like this. Right? Here you can see that I have written the square root value. And like we did with the squares, now these are very easy ones because all the answers are in between 1 and 10. So then you know 1 times 1, 1, 2 times 2, 4, 3 times 3, 9, 4 times 4, 16, 5 times 5, 25, 6 times 6, 36, 7 times 7, 49, 8 times 8, 64, 9 times 9, 81, 10 times 10, 100. Then if you get the square root of these, so easily you can get that. But look at these values. Now, when you write the square root of 88,100, right, you get the square root of 8,100. How we are going to do that? The square root of 81, it is 9. Square root of this 100, it is 10. The answer is 90. And if you have 4,900, you want to do the same thing, children, right? That later you learn that how we get this. For the time being, I will just explain this. 49, it is 7. And here you have double zeros, it is 1 0, so 70. Right? And if I get the same thing with the 490,000, I will explain here now itself, it's easier for you. You start marking from the left corner. Now, like this, you pair the digits like this. Square root of 49, 7. Square root of this double zero, 0. And this one, 0. So 700 is the answer. Right? If you have, let's say, 10,000, so you start from the right side corner, you pair it. And in the 100, it is 10. And here, It is 10. So the answer is 100. This is very easy, children, right? Whatever the number they have given, you don't want to worry. Let's say you have 60, something like this. What you want to do, you start from the right side corner, you pair them like this. Here it is 8, here it is 10 and 10. The answer is 800, right? This is how you want to get it. Let's say that you have something like this. Then you do it like this. This is 10, right? 0, 0. The answer is 1000, right? This is what you do when you have a whole number. Now I'm going to explain you what you should do when you have the decimal number. Let's say 0.081. Sorry, 0.81. So this is easy, Then square root, that you get what? It is you have two decimal places. So then the answer should be with one decimal place. So then how do you get that? 0.81, it is 0.9. You just write 0.9, right? Because we know 0.9 multiplied by 0.9, that becomes 9 times 9, 81. And I want to keep two decimal places, that becomes 0.81. Okay. And let's say I have 0.49. Now what happened? Then the square root of 49 is 7, and you write 0.7. How do you get this? You can just try that. With the practice, you know that you don't want to write them and practice 7 times 7, 49. And you want to keep two decimal places like this. Okay. Then next one, let's say you have 0.0036. Now what happened? How we are going to pair? If a decimal, you start from the decimal point. You do it like this. Here it is 0, here it is 6. So then you write 0.06. If you want to double check, 0.06 multiplied by 0.06, what will be the answer? 6 times 6, 36. But you have two decimal places. That means there should be four decimal places. 0.0036. Right? Let's say you have 0.0009. Now what happened? You start from here like this. Here 0 and here 3. Answer is 0.03. If you want to double check, that you write it like this. 3 times 3, 9. But we want to keep four decimal places. You write it like this. This is what you want to understand it, right? Here now you just see this one. This is the decimal one. Wait, I will make it bigger. Right? So what I do, this is the decimal one, and I segregate like this. Here it is 0, 0, 4, 0.004. And this one, how do you pair? From the right side, because it is a whole number. Like this. 2, 0, 0, 0, 2000. And this one, 5, 0, 0. And this is a decimal. From this side, you want to pair like this. 0. And this is straightforward, these ones. So then hope it is clear for you. Right? And can you remember when it comes to the squares, we discuss about the rough estimate. And for the square roots also, we have the rough estimate, right? So this is a very important one, children. You want to understand. It's like this. Now I will open and show you my whiteboard and show you it's like this. Okay, I will do it from here. Let's say you want to get the square root of 23, right? and you just recall your square root memory and 23. What are the closer perfect squares you have for this? One is 16, the other one is 25. Square root of 16 is 4. No? Square root of 25 is 1. And what we are talking about? Square root of 23. So that means this value should be in between something 4 and 5. No? So then I write 4 point something. That is how you write, right? In the exam also, you can show it like this. Let's say you have 13 square root. What I do? I write that the square root of 9 and square root of 16. The number 13 is in between 9 and 16. This one, I know it is 3. This one, it is 4. And I want to get the square root of 13. And that value should be in between 3 and 4. 3 point something. Hope it is clear. For this, you should be able to get the numbers, the perfect squares and square root closer to the given number. For an example, the next one I am taking. Let's say you want to get the square root of 70. Right? Then I write the square root of 64 and I get the square root of 81. Square root of 64, it is 8. Square root of 81, it is 9. But what is the value I want to find? The 70. It should be in between the 64 and 81. Then the square root value should be in between 8 and 9. Therefore, I write 8 point something. Children, this knowledge is very important then later when you are dealing with the topic called the Pythagoras theorem, right? When you are getting the square root, always, sometimes in the exam, they will tell you, you can write the answer to or that you can get the rough estimate. This is how you write. We don't know that something value. It doesn't matter. You just write how you can get the answers, right? Here, 4 point something, right? And then here, they have given different numbers. I'll take a few of them for your knowledge, right? That let's say I take 3. How I'm going to get that? 3. So then I write 3. This is the question. And square root of 1 and square root of 4. The square root of 1 is 1. Square root of 4 is 2. And then if I want to write square root of 3, it should be 1 point something. What is the next number? I'll take random number 4.6 or 85, let's say. Anything. It doesn't matter. Right? So then you follow the same thing. So let's say that what is the number? 85. So then I just write the question is this 85. Okay. And I write the square root of 81 is 9. And then I write the square root of 100. It is 10. And if I want to get the square root of 85, it should be in between 9 and 10. 9 point something. Right? Any number, if you want to get the square root value, rough estimate, this is what you do. You take the perfect square root value that is closer to top and bottom, the very close, the upper value and the lower value, the very close one. And then if it is that the number in between 81 and 100, 85, if you get the square root of 81, definitely it should be in between the square root of 81 and square root of 100. That is 9 and 10. So then that should be 9 point something. Okay. So these are the main points you want to learn when it comes to this topic today. And if you come across with the more than this, don't worry when we are discussing so then you want to get the square root using the calculator. Here I have explained you. We are not using the calculator and you are not allowed to use the calculator. Therefore, we don't want to worry about this part. Okay. So then this is the end of the squares and square root lesson, right? And then I will start a new lesson or the new topic, the next topic you are doing in the school after this video. Therefore, please be in touch. Then the next video will be released sooner. So then we are done with the squares and square root. Okay, children, bye.